I'm here with Lauren Anderson, who's one of my dear friends from Neighborhood Housing Services, and we're sitting here in the 7th Ward Center, and I'd like Lauren to talk a little bit about the community center. Lauren?
Thank you so much for inviting us to be part of your show and helping us help you rebuild our neighborhoods. We are at the Neighborhood Housing Services 7th Ward Neighborhood Center on the corner of Pauger and Urquhart Street. NHS opened the center after the storm because we had a realization that many neighborhoods that were attempting to come back needed places for families and residents to gather and to rebuild their lives and rebuild their communities. So this is a hub of activity for people, from young people to old people, to come together to have fun. We have yoga for adults.
Yes, the yoga mats, and it's a nice corner lot too.
Yep.
So you've got.
We have yoga for kids that's become very popular. There's a computer lab. Last weekend we had a lawyer day where people could come and ask questions of lawyers. And we've got a great side yard where we have neighborhood festivals. We've got a community garden. But on the more serious note, because NHS is all about rebuilding neighborhoods, we have a very active resident-driven vacant property campaign.
Wonderful.
So we have been mapping and surveying the neighborhood to identify all the vacant properties.
Good.
NHS, in partnership with the City of New Orleans, acquired about 30 or 40 vacant properties in the 7th Ward.
Great. Now, did y'all acquire those through Nora?
No,
Or
this
the
was
North
actually
Business?
through the city, through the,
Great.
these were tax foreclosed properties.
Okay.
And so we are beginning our redevelopment work in the 7th Ward. Our first house is at 1911 Claiborne. Okay. It's a cute little single shotgun that you see as you come off the off-ramp of I-10 on Claiborne.
I'm partial to shotguns.
Yes, you'll love it. It's a great house.
Good.
And it will be, we're about 25% through with the renovation.
Oh,
and when we're done, it will be available for sale to a first-time home buyer. We've developed a strategic plan for the 7th Ward. We have our internal goals. So one of our goals is that at least 50% of the homes that we develop in the 7th Ward will be sold to residents of the 7th Ward.
Excellent. That's a huge issue.
So this is also then our way of doing outreach to residents of the 7th Ward to bring NHS's historic home ownership programs close to home.
Because I think a lot of people know of your neighborhood housing services on Ferret Street.
That's right.
Where you've been for many, many years, and you've really helped stabilize that community. So I'm thrilled that you're now in the 7th Ward in District C to really help stabilize this community. So can we talk a little about your home buyer workshops and how, so you have these houses, and tell people how they can acquire these services.
Well, NHS believes that home ownership is an important vehicle for families to achieve wealth.
Absolutely.
And also to stabilize and revitalize neighborhoods. So we put a lot of emphasis on helping, particularly working families, achieve the dream of home ownership. And it's a multiple step process that people can do at their own pace. So it starts with an orientation session where people find out about our programs and about the financial incentives that may be available through different organizations like the Finance Authority. And then the most important part of our program is our one-on-one counseling. We have a staff of 4 counselors who are just dedicated to helping families overcome any obstacles that they might have to achieving their dream of home ownership. So they spend time with the families reviewing their credit, their income, their debt, and develop a plan.
Now, is there a cost associated with the counseling?
Actually, there is not. The only cost...
Did we hear that? No cost for counseling.
The only fee is about $22 to get a credit report.
Oh, that's great.
But the counseling itself is free.
Wonderful.
And it is available to people throughout the city of New Orleans and the region.
Okay.
There are no requirements. The only
that's
requirement
fantastic.
is that you are motivated to want to improve your life.
And how long does the average course take?
Well, the counseling can take a varying amount of time depending on someone's situation. So someone can come in and think that they're not at all ready for home ownership, and they actually are. And so it can be a relatively quick process. Someone else may have a lot of debt or credit problems that need to be cleaned up, And so we've had people who've worked with us for months or sometimes years.
So you actually assist them through the counseling process in cleaning up their credit
Yes.
report to make them able to purchase a home. So they have no excuses.
Absolutely.
That's
Right.
exciting.
And then we also, in addition to the credit counseling that's individual, we have 2 classes that we offer.
Okay.
One is our financial fitness class, and that's 12 hours, and it's basic money management 101. It's how to do a budget, how to manage your credit, insurance, taxes, successions. It's all the things that really should be taught in high school.
That aren't, and,
That are
and I
not
think
taught.
that's a really important piece, especially post Katrina, because I think a lot of us have seen our daily cost of living increase after Katrina, from utilities, insurance, even our homestead exemption. You know, some of the millages increased. So my question is, a lot of people I think out there are fearful that with these increased costs of living, that they're then not able to afford a house. How would you respond to that?
You know, one of the things that we do in our counseling and in our financial fitness is helping people appreciate where their money actually does go. The financial fitness course is done over the course of 4 weeks.
Okay.
And so during that time, people actually keep a spending diary.
Really?
And they start to see, you know, where, you know, on your way here, you picked
But
up a
I know
cup
I
of
got a
iced
cup of coffee.
right?
I know, there's a big tab if they had
You
to add some.
know, a few trips to the coffee shop a week, if that money went into the piggy bank instead,
Right.
it adds up. We had one family, they're just one of my favorite families. They realized that, you know, a lot of their money was going into the vending machine at work.
Really?
And by just bringing lunch to work or to school,
Uh-huh.
they saved money. And you know, they went from never having a bank account to in a few months having not only a checking account, but a savings account, saved up and bought their house within a few months. And this was before Katrina. They were the first family back on their block
Oh,
after
that's
Katrina.
exciting.
And this is a couple that was only in their 20s. They paid off their mortgage.
Talk about motivated.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's about giving people tools.
Right, exactly, to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
And then to acquire personal wealth,
Exactly.
which is what homeownership is all about.
Exactly. And then to be more active in their community.
Absolutely.
Because we also very much believe in that it's important for people to become engaged
Yes.
in the civic process.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, and the other class that we do is our 12-hour homebuyer training class. And that demystifies the homebuyer
The whole process. And then, so after each of these courses, you become, I guess, certified? And then that next step would be something that you could bring to the bank, or you could bring to the Louisiana Housing Finance Agency.
Exactly.
Where they could potentially get qualified again because they went through these courses, and it would maybe make them eligible for some incentives?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Many programs that are geared for first-time homebuyers require that you graduate from a homebuyer training class, and even financial fitness. There's a great program that's run by the United Way called Individual Development Accounts. It's a match savings program. If you save $2,000, you get an $8,000 grant that you can use towards the purchase of your home.
Great.
That program requires that you take both financial fitness and homebuyer training.
Okay.
The Finance Authority of New Orleans very soon will have a soft second program.
Which we are all looking forward to.
And that also requires graduation from homebuyer training.
Great.
So it will open up doors, and it will make available financial assistance that can make the dream of homeownership a reality.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I know we have to start closing, so is there anything else that you want to leave people with? How would they contact you, Lauren?
They can contact Neighborhood Housing Services by calling 899-5900, and anyone who answers the phone can help. And I also encourage residents of the 7th Ward and District C to call the 7th Ward Neighborhood Center, and that number is 373-5117, or come by. We're at the corner of Parker and Urquhart, right across the street from AP Twirl School.
Well, thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Merci, merci.
New Orleans would like to say.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks, America.
We love you.
We don't just say thanks. We play it.
And now we'd like to say thank you in person.
Come on down, America.
Come for the history.
Come for the music.
Come for the food.
Come for the art. Lots of art.
Come for the fun.
Come feel good.
Come for the people. Come for beignets.
Come for the sweet sounds of jazz.
Come for it all.
We rolling, y'all.
Come fall in love with New Orleans all over again.
Come on, what you waiting for?
Listen up, Energy Hogs. We got a real porker of a house here. Get in there and waste some energy.
There's no insulation, boss. It's hog heaven.
Leaky windows, too. This is gonna be a breeze. Perfect. Go wild and waste some wattage.
Time to tan.
Oh, there's hot water for just one pair of pants. My kind of place.
Wow! This thing's so old it's gonna take me hours to get dry.
Keep wasting. They'll never know what hit them till they get the energy bill.
What the?
Boss, they're home, and they've got energy-efficient bulbs.
You've got the power to get rid of energy hogs. You can help your parents add insulation, put in Energy Star appliances, and lots of other things to make your home hog-free. Find out how at energyhog.org and play fun games, too.
Oh, retreat! Retreat!
Go to energyhog.org and get the energy hogs out of your home.
Hey, wait for me!
Hi, we are now being joined with Mary Ann Toon, and she is with the Louisiana Housing Finance Authority. Hi, Mary, how are you?
I'm fine, Kristen.
Good. Well, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Before you joined us, we were discussing first-time home buyer workshop training. And so what we'd like to do is now talk about the next steps with first-time home buyers. And we understand that the Louisiana Housing Finance Authority can assist people in that regard. So please do tell us about your program.
Okay, we will. Well, once they've completed their home buyer course, then they need to make the selection of the lender they would like to do business with. And on our website, and we'll give that a little later, is a listing of all of our approved participating lenders. And we have over 100 in the state of Louisiana between lenders and brokers. And once they decide on a lender, they would then contact them and ask if they could be pre-qualified either by phone or do they need to make an appointment to go in for, pre-qualification. At that point, the loan officer would ask them, questions such as their name, social security number, income, address, that type of thing, so that they could pull credit and get back to them on what they qualify for. Once the loan officer determines what type of program and products the borrower qualifies for, then they would get back with them to let them know. And so the thing that, they may say to the borrower, you qualify for a $150,000 home loan, but the borrower needs to ask themselves the question, can I truly afford this payment?
Right.
Because what you qualify for and what you actually can afford to pay may sometimes be different.
So do they also talk in the regular monthly bills on top of that? Does
They
that
do.
enter into the equation?
They do. All of their debts, their monthly debts are included, installment debts, revolving debt, car loans, things of that nature.
Well, what about too, like post-Katrina, a lot of our costs to a homeowner have gone up substantially. Our insurance costs, our utilities costs. Are utilities also factored into that?
Utilities are not factored in.
Okay.
It's principal and interest, taxes and insurances, and then on top of that is included all their debt.
So when our people make that decision, they should really also try to factor in what their average utility costs would be.
They should.
When they think about whether or not they can afford.
Absolutely, because there's many other things that come up, such as child care and groceries and utilities that are not factored into the monthly debt ratio. That's right.
Okay.
That's correct.
So do y'all give them a checklist of certain things for them to consider while they're reviewing this?
Well, I think the lender can provide that for them. They are truly the expert that we refer our customers to. A lender has like an array or a menu of products that they can kind of go through and determine what is best for that customer. Could be that the customer qualifies for one of our bond programs. We currently have 4 going on right now. and or it could be that they don't, and then they have to look at other products that they qualify for.
And how long does that process take from the time you think when a prospective home buyer approaches the lender to the time when the lender qualifies them? What's the average time that would take?
Typically, they're going to hear back the same day, if not certainly early the next day on a pre-qualification.
And then I just wanted to get back to another point because I think everybody likes choice. You said that you have 100 approved lenders that would go through your program.
Right.
So within Orleans Parish, do you have a ballpark idea of how many lenders
I didn't count them, but it's an extensive list.
It's an extensive list.
Is.
Excellent. And then also, once they get through the qualification process, what would be the next step? Is there anything that LHFA, the Louisiana Housing Finance Authority, could possibly provide as further incentives for purchasing a home?
Well, there is. Some of our programs offer an assistance. We have our MRB Assisted program. It offers a 3% assistance that can be used towards their down payment and closing costs and prepaid items. And then also we have our home program. It's for our low-income borrowers. They have to earn 80% area median income or less.
And do you know the average that is within that 80% AMI?
The average income? We've not actually done that calculation because it does vary by parish, but that's a good question.
And then, and so any other incentives that we could offer our viewers?
The assistance ranges. It's different on home. It's 4.5% to 9%, depending upon their loan amount.
And then how would they contact you for this information?
Okay, well, the way it works is once they're pre-qualified, the lender can provide them with a letter of pre-qualification. Then they would then contact their realtor to seek out and find a home that they would be happy with in the price range that they qualify for. Once they have a negotiated contract accepted by all parties, then they would then come in, make an application, formal application with the lender. The lender would then start the process of the loan, and at that time they would order the appraisal, order the title, so they would have a title search on it to make sure that there's not any outstanding liens of any nature that's a surprise.
Correct.
And that the property appraises. Home buyers many times choose to have a home inspection done, so they make sure that the property is in good condition. So once that process is completed, then the loan has to be prepared and submitted for loan approval. And it's submitted to an underwriter for the product approval, and then it would also be submitted to the agency for compliance approval based on the bond program that they have selected.
Great. So how would they contact at LHFA? Do you have a website?
We do. Our website is www.lhfa.state.la.us.
Great. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate having you.
Okay, thank you.
Don't go away. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Go to jail for a gun crime, and your family serves a sentence with you.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Hi, we're here with Shannon Summerall, and he went through a first-time homebuyer workshop. This one he went through is from the Preservation Resource Center. We've talked about different programs throughout the city that offer first-time home ownership. And so I would like to turn over to Shannon and talk about your experience with the PRC's program.
The PRC program was a great program for first-time homeowners. They went through the entire process and they explained all the different steps that you have to go through, from getting a mortgage approved to getting your credit score, and the whole process as it flowed all the way to closing. And it's definitely a long, complicated process that has a lot of bumps in the road that you can go through. So it is good to have all the knowledge you can get ahead of time.
Well, Shannon, was there any little bumps that you can tell people about that might have been an issue that we can kind of let people know?
Well, sure. I was in the Army, so I was approved for a VA loan. So the VA inspector came out, and a lot of the houses in New Orleans obviously are older and have chipped paint. The VA inspectors hate chipped paint, so I had to go through another program. But there's lots of programs out there, and just don't get frustrated. Everything takes time, and you've got to have a little patience. It took much longer than I thought it was going to, but in the end, it works out. So it's all a matter of having patience.
Well, how long did it take you for your house?
Well, it was about 3 months from.
So 3 months from taking the actual course to the purchase?
Yes.
Okay, well that's not so bad, 3 months. And then we're actually standing in your home right now that you purchased. And what I love about it is it's a shotgun double, which is the wonderful vernacular house in New Orleans. And in fact, I'm kind of partial to it because my very first house was a shotgun double. And my husband and I renovated one side and then we rented out the other, which helped us with our mortgage. So is that what you're doing as well?
Exactly. It's definitely helping a lot with the mortgage, and that's one of the great things about New Orleans is there's few other places in the country where you can have a historical home and then have a double that helps pay off the majority of the mortgage. So it's a great deal, and it's really awesome to be able to do that.
And can you tell me, you don't have to mention any names, but who did you rent out the home to this side?
It's a couple that's involved with the teacher corps. So
oh, wonderful. So there'll actually be teachers in New Orleans.
Yes.
See, so that's another added benefit of owning your home. And so what is the percentage of this will help you with your mortgage payment?
My homestead exemption hasn't come through yet, but when the homestead exemption comes through, I think I'm going to end up paying around $200-300 in rent, basically, but it's the mortgage, so it's going to pay the vast majority, but I pay more, and that gets the mortgage paid off sooner.
Great, excellent. Well, would you like to give us a tour of this side of the house, and this is the side of the shotgun that you're going to be renting out?
No problem.
So you want to walk us through and give us a little tour? Great, thank you. Shannon, tell me, how did you come about choosing the Preservation Resource Center's program?
I just did a search online, and they were one of the best organizations that help preserve the historic homes of New Orleans. So I chose them due to the good work that they're doing in the city.
So you were already partial to historic properties throughout New Orleans?
Yes, definitely.
And where are they located? Where were the classes held?
In the PRC's main building, which is in the warehouse district.
I think that's at 901 Chapatoulas.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, excellent. And then how long were the classes? What type of time commitment did you need to have to go to these courses?
They did them in the evenings. It was a week-long course, so you just went on the evenings and just knocked it out in that week.
How big was the class? How many people were?
I think we had around 25 people.
Really, from start to finish?
Yes.
So it sounds like it was not only geographically was it centrally located, but also it could work around anybody's schedule.
Certainly.
If you already had a job.
And while I was there, I also found out that the house that I was living in at that time was a project that PRC had done in the past on the General Taylor Street. They had gone in and there were all these old doubles that they were going to tear down. And
that entire block, I remember
entire
that. That's right, it's right off of Chapatoulas on General Taylor. That was an exciting project.
So that was an interesting factor. Like, wow, I'm living in a house they already redid. So
you were paying rent before you decided to go out there and purchase?
Yes.
I got tired of doing that.
Well, definitely it's better to build more equity and start getting something you own instead of rent.
That's fantastic. And so really that's the other benefit of owning your own home. You're going to wind up, because you have a shotgun double and you're going to rent out one side, to actually pay less than you would for a rent. And at the end of your mortgage, you're going to actually own the home.
Definitely, and it's only going to increase in value.
So, well, thank you so much. And thank y'all out there for watching.
You.